In what ways does your media products use, develop and challenge forms and conventions of real media products? So, for my poster, use would be how I use the background as like a page effect, having 3 different split areas with this following cloud effect and the beigey cream colours and tones that represent the historical times. The credits underneath were in a white font colour, therefore I had to add a drop shadow to make it stand out and readable. The layout was obviously centralised with the quote above the title. This was something I found quite suitable for my poster. It's similar to the PS I Love You one without the actor names right at the top, but I felt like it fitted well with my trailer, making it seem like uniformed. The texts that I used were generally classic ones like Baskerville and the steel tongs, which is always used in posters. This created the traditional historical vibe on my poster. I also added 2 types of rain effects, such as the one in the About Time poster, and then I also added in sparks and other effects. The release date was for Remembrance Day Sunday because it was the 100th anniversary of the First World War. Therefore, with it being war related, we felt it would be relevant. The characters shown within the poster are with the main protagonists within the trailer. We made sure that they were wearing the uniform, the stereotypical weather, and obviously the stereotypical 2-shot images, which are always consistent in posters, as in the Titanic. My poster had many different aspects from a range of posters. I basically picked and chose what I liked, and this is my final product.
Use. I use many aspects of the Theory of Everything film poster for my own poster, which I created on Photoshop. Here are some of those aspects. Firstly, the background. The photos were taken whilst on a trip to the countryside. As the sun was setting, I thought this would be a nice aspect to then use and edit in Photoshop further. The credits and the release date placed at the bottom of the poster were something that I used as well. Along with the layout, the flow of the text of the image throughout the centre kind of creates a continuity and keeps the eyes drawn throughout the centre. I chose to use the 2 main characters within the narrative, as this was a typical romance convention. Also, the release date was an event release date based upon Remembrance Sunday, so therefore released in November. I also edited the glow around the models within the photograph chosen, and this was due to from an influence from the Theory of Everything poster. The positioning of the text in the centre at the top was also taken from the Theory of Everything poster as well.
Now for develop. Previously I spoke of the rain effect that I used, however I think this is the develop since I added in sparks from the water for elephants and also doubled the effect of the rain within referencing the Notebook poster. The rain effect used within these posters always seems to be an important aspect, which just makes the posters seem more romantic. When crediting actors within my poster, I wanted to also include their character roles within the film, because this gives it a nice touch explaining to the audience who plays what and who to look out for. With the important roles within the trailers, I also wanted to include these individual characters in my poster as well, not just the main protagonists. As you can see, I had little images of the other significant roles. The image I wanted to filter because I felt it gives it the traditional colours of the wall, and it just makes it look more vintage and gives you that olden days vibe. With the reviews, I didn't want to just give the stereotypical quotes that are always seen continuously within loads of posters, so I felt I'll just keep it simple by giving some star ratings and then naming the person or the company it's from.
Develop. The text behind on the background was a diary entry from the narrative. I chose to put it in blue rather than white, as the white overtook the whole poster, as seen here in The Theory of Everything, so this is something I developed. The background, I swapped, as I've just said. Rather than equations, I used a diary entry. The image edit, I downplayed the peach glow to suit the photograph chosen. This was because it just didn't fit in with the navy that I was using, and also the khaki and the red lipstick. It just didn't fit well with it, so I decided to downplay and get rid of the peach glow and just use a more lighter tone of blue. The stance, for the Water of Elephants, the pose of the models was quite close together, so I wanted to develop this and use this on my own.
Now for challenge. The main challenge I would say was for my poster was the shot type. This was because when taking the pictures I didn't manage to take a good one and basically had to use what I had, and I felt I actually ended up using it pretty damn well. It relates to the Sense and Sensibility one since they used a lot of mid-shot close-up pictures. The layout and the positioning helped this as well, since the conventions of where I was placing the cast and reviews and the names and stuff, it was just helping build up my poster, such as the Marigold Hotel one, which is a perfect example. I felt the handwriting was a great personal touch because Judith writes in her diary within the narrative, and I wanted to represent that within my poster by stating some of the names of the characters within the actual trailer. With the colour scheme, I wanted to represent the historical aspects, like the historical colours of the creams, the mossy green colours and the dark reds. So I felt that I referenced it well with the Letters to Juliet poster.
Challenge. The use of the sky on my poster was quite an emphasis, and I felt this was a challenge because it wasn't particularly relevant to the narrative. I also chose to just reveal one side of the narrative, whereas there is also two because it's multi-strand. The shot type was a mid-shot rather than a medium-long shot, what here seen on the Theory of Everything poster and on my own poster, with the difference.
Now we are going to analyse our trailer.
Use. We used a certificate at the beginning of the trailer, as this is something that is always shown, and we also used a British one because this made more sense for our narrative, as we chose a British independent.
We used a similar effect of introducing the actors like the one in The Water for Elephants. We thought it just looked classic and it worked well with our historical romance trailer.
As seen here.
This is where the trailer mentioned its quotes and then the use of the title and the credits. We tried following the same theme throughout our trailer as well, since it was a recurring theme within our trailers. As you can see in ours, we have the same thing.
Particularly animation.
Which was very difficult to make.
From the best-selling novel by Nicholas Sparks.
Here we have the Notebook trailer. This trailer helps in showing us the typical romance genre and the conventions and stereotypes within it, such as the love triangle,
which was very similar to our narrative.
because we had a romantic couple which everyone would die for, and then we had another protagonist who just wanted to ruin the relationship, which was very fun since all trailers seem to have this, and it just keeps the audience hooked and wanting to view more.
As seen here when introducing the other fellow protagonist, which in turn created more drama for the audience to view.
Making them also ask the question on who Judith should choose.
Oh god, who do I choose?